Just to give you a minute, slight moment. Oh, falling over my own feet. Okay. I'm doing this reading tonight because the one I did today, when I watched the replay part one, you guys, it didn't come through, like only 3 minutes. So I'm gonna redo the message. Hopefully this doesn't cut off or give me any issues like it did earlier. So bear with me if that was your message earlier today, okay? Some things are worth repeating if they are worthwhile, okay? So let's continue. No winner? Yeah, no winner when the reading doesn't properly upload. Joy. Yes. Some of you definitely grabbing the reins of joy going into this holiday season. You could have realized that, yeah, arguing with your family, arguing with whoever is just going to get you a lump of coal, right? It's a no win situation. You're grabbing on to the joy, okay? And it's not that postmaster joy guy. I think he screwed things up, so, Talking about real literal joy here. Okay, and river. Some of you may be getting close to a body of water. You may live near a river. You may like to fish in the river, okay? Some of you may need to cross a bridge around a river on a daily basis. Okay. So let's get some of the romance angels out here, which I did earlier today. We'll see if it is as good of a pull as it was earlier. That I am not sure. If you are new, please do like the video or subscribe to the channel. Remember, this is a live reading. There's no pre-poll, there is no pre-edit here. This is right in the energy that is in the collective currently, okay? So what do the romance angels have to say for this collective? This collective grabbing onto their joy. Maybe their joy is making them cry river tears, like tears of joy, I'm getting as well, okay? Free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. You maybe have felt penned in by a situation, and now the time has come, very much like the Eight of Swords, okay? Where you think you have nowhere to go, but yet really you do. And I mean, this animal here can probably pierce through or jump over. You know what I mean? Some of these boundary lines are imaginary, and especially the boundary lines that other people are drawing for our lives. Okay? What else do the romance angels have to say for this collective? true love. This came out earlier. I'm glad it is coming out again. This is the romance of a lifetime. Some of you could be like, are you sure? Because the romantic partners have felt more like lumps of coal. Maybe they have been literal lumps, like they don't move from the couch. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to talk to nobody. They don't want, you know what I mean? Like, that's not really the collective. The collective is an active participant in life, okay? So if you think for some reason that you're gonna meet this person sitting on the couch, guess again, right? You actually have to be somewhere else in order to meet people, right? Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. This is fascinating. I was just speaking to somebody today about a couple that I met that, maybe upon first meeting them, you're like, these two are together, but hey, they seem to like each other, right? Um, some of it's because she was younger and he was older, but like she was very mature, like she had her career and things like that and whatnot. She was a very attractive female, and he was a little, I'm not going to say homely looking, but she could have done better is all I'm saying. But speaking to him, he was a very nice person as well. Kindness goes a long way, doesn't it? Right? Sometimes we, might get excited about somebody. You start talking to them, and then the things that come out of their mouth are like, oh, I see your mind is actually closed, and a closed mind does not offer growth or opportunity. Okay. But the open mind for sure does. And part of that opportunity is you being loved properly, right? Because the people that are only looking at the surface level stuff, they don't have a mind open enough to love the collective properly. Okay. So that requires you also, collective, to have an open mind when it comes to this love. And maybe you are going to be crying some tears of joy, right? When you finally meet this person, like, oh, somebody understands me. Um, you know, Maybe your soulmate grew up on the other side of the tracks than you, but you know what? You get along like peas and carrots. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't it you like you could be somebody raised more in a formal environment or a city environment, whereas this soulmate may have a way vastly different upbringing. Or in fact, some of them could come like it could be reversal, like you could have been the one on the wrong side of the tracks or whatever, and they come from some kind of like a family with status, a family with money, or certain types of expectations, right? And you could be like, I don't know if I'm into all this stuffy business, right? Like I don't want to date a stuffed shirt, right? You may be saying some gals these days, um they like the blue collar, type dirty jeans and safety vest type, you know what I mean? Like there's all kinds. So definitely keep an open mind. It's also reminding me of that movie Overboard, which is kind of a horrible way to like try and convince somebody to love you, right? Knock them over the head and give them amnesia. But they were playing two characters in that movie, very different lifestyles coming together and finding that they could actually kind of have fun and tolerate each other, right? And maybe have more fun than they were apart. Okay. So keep an open mind. Let's see what is next here. Oh, unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. Yeah. So if you're a little bit too different, then yeah, maybe it's just not going to work. And that's okay. Um, You know, just because you go on a date with somebody doesn't mean you have to get married to them, right? Like, um, and vice versa. If somebody's not putting in that time, then yeah, the relationship's gonna go nowhere, right? It's like, what did you think was going to happen? There, you know, so you might be saying to somebody there's no love lost, because there's not a relationship that was maintained, okay? Maybe that's what you need to free yourself of. Flirt, extend your lighthearted energy to others. Yes. That could be something you need to free yourself to do as well. Hmm. You may be flirting with somebody that you had a past life relationship with. That may come up. May come up. All right, getting the conversation deck out here. This is a general reading, so please only take what resonates. After I do these messages, we will get into the tarot. Cash. Somebody may be counting their cash right now. I feel like somebody likes to play lottery. Pray. You could be praying that your lottery ticket comes through, right? Especially if you didn't get a winner last time. Maybe you get a winner next time. And maybe that's going to give you the cash you need. Although, you know, lottery is not a savings plan. Okay, let's remember that, folks. Okay. Spying. Who could be spying on you? Well, if you are in this little corral here, then anybody can come in and spy on you at any time, right? So maybe that's what you're freeing yourself of being seen as something that other people use for entertainment, okay? It could be this true love person spying on you as well because they're wondering what you're doing, right? Vacay. You could meet somebody while you are on vacation. And, you know, vacation doesn't have to mean like going somewhere on vacation, although that is nice, right? But you know, when you're on vacation, you have a different routine, right? So maybe you're gonna go, like if you're on a staycation or something, maybe you're gonna go to a park. Maybe you're gonna go to the mall and do some window shopping, you know, catch up on the latest trends, whatever it is, you know, and buy yourself one of those giant pretzels or whatever they have in there these days, you know? Um, and kind of exploring your world a little bit. And I think that is going to help you get into the groove of kind of, you know, running into a soulmate type, okay? Yes, I am dating. What about us together? So, the person you seek is seeking you. Okay. So they may be actively dating. Maybe they just haven't met up with you yet. Okay. So they could be in some other situations here with this unrequited love where it's nothing personal. It's just not enough attraction or chemistry, whatever that is. You know, for those particular people where it's just not meshing. So they're saying, well, what about trying to mesh together, collective, okay? So maybe they're wanting to start flirting with you a little bit. I don't have time for you right now. Yeah. So if you do flirt with somebody and if they're like, I don't have time for you, then well, maybe you need to flirt with somebody else. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say about that. Especially because I feel like somebody does want to come towards you. I don't know if they're afraid that you're going to say this, that you're too busy right now. But flirtation is free. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things you can do to kind of flirt that isn't like a huge investment. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll take a little sip here. Okay. Let's talk to the light workers here. It's in the light worker oracle deck. Thank you for the likes, for the folks that have joined the chat today. Hopefully this message has been beneficial for you. Take a break. Literally, this came out one of the last times I pulled this. Take a break, a life's work, not a season. Okay, so maybe this is why, because I was talking about he who shall remain nameless. Anyway, all right, we are not billionaires. We are not millionaires, at least not yet, collective, right? Where we don't have a team of people, making our breakfast, lunch, and dinner for us and picking out our clothes for us and all these other things, right? So, what you're able to achieve in a season, make it something realistic, okay? Maybe some of these goals you have are actually life goals, not like in a few months type goals. Like folks that are on like a serious weight loss journey. They're going to lose that over the course of a year plus, right? Even if you do have surgery, that still takes a long time, right? So, the idea of a quick fix is, and it's like, do you really want a quick fix for your life? Like, or do you want to slow down and enjoy your life, right? So taking a break, definitely chiming in here on this reading, okay? Some of your break could include some prayer or meditation, since this prayer came out here, or the pray card came out. And maybe some of you have some cash, saved up. You can take a vacation. So, this take a break. Maybe this is, the signal that you should do something like that. I'll tell you this little story. After I left my corporate job, I wasn't sure if I was going to go on a nice vacation again. So I did have a little bit of savings. I did, spend some money on a fairly nice vacation, which I ended up getting some of the money back. It was kind of funny, strange how that happened. Anyway, but the point being, I went ahead and took that step because I was investing into myself, into my peace of mind, right? Letting myself feel rested so that I was ready to come back into the next stage, okay? So, especially some of these CEO types and people that are like, I get up at 4 a.m. and I never take a break and I work 7 to 8. You know what? That's for people that are, that don't have to worry about, how they're going to have to pay their electricity. Okay? That's for people that, but, if you save enough money, then you don't have to worry about, right, how to pay your electricity, things of that nature, and then you can settle into a better mind frame, right? And it doesn't have to be because, you hit it rich on some scratch off. Although maybe you will. I mean, who knows? Anything can happen in this life. But yeah, making sure that your goals are realistic here. I think that is also a part of this message in freeing yourself. Because you could be like, a lot of people be like, well, if I don't achieve this by this time, then I'm giving up. And it's like, well, did you give it really the amount of time that it needs? Or did you give it the amount of time that it needed to take so and so to do it, who has way more experience and way more resources? And in fact, there's people bending over backwards just giving them stuff left and right. Whereas maybe you had to work for it. Maybe you had to put in a little sweat equity. Yes, those people exist as well. All right? Not everyone's born with a goddamn silver spoon in their mouth. Inheritance tax? Yeah, okay. Ha ha. Right? Save that for the billionaires. Okay? And that could be something too with this unrequited love, if there is some kind of like financial or lifestyle difference, you know what I mean? But do keep in mind that a lot of people, just to protect themselves, they do prenuptial agreements all the time. And sometimes their family will like force them to do it, even if they disagree. But and, I come from the mindset of, when you're a kid and having nothing and thinking like, who needs a prenuptial agreement? To, as you're an adult, it's like you might need to protect your assets. Okay. So again, keep an open mind about, if you do enter into a partnership with somebody who is built a little bit different than you. And, yeah. Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Yeah. So when you take control of your life back, when you free yourself from, limitations, it's like these were the limitations that other people placed around you, right? And now these are the limitations that you're placing upon others so that you can grow and expand. All right? And what are those things? Maybe one of your boundaries is that you need some daily quiet time for your prayer or meditation. Okay. Maybe one of your boundaries is that you don't accept phone calls after 9 p.m. or 11 a.m. or whatever your schedule is, right? Maybe one of your boundaries is that you don't just lend people money anymore without knowing what it's for, especially if it's for certain family members that have been up to no good anyway. Right? Okay, I think we've all heard that story before. Goddamn drug addicts every fucking time. I swear to God, you get your asses out of this fucking energy because I'm getting pissed off about it. I'm serious. All that's getting returned to y'all. It doesn't belong here in this collective. They've done enough. So, yeah, that could be part of the things that you're freeing yourself from. Some of that could be this unrequited love. People come in and be like, oh, but we're family. Oh, how can you turn your back on your blood? Blah, blah. It's like, When have you ever shown up for me a second in my life? You know? So no, honey, there ain't no love lost there. None whatsoever. Right? Okay. Some of these folks need to go back to the drawing board with their little schemes and scams. But we all know there are some that will just never get it together. Okay? I'm not talking about somebody who finally gets, starts working and, finally gets their own place and what I'm saying? I mean, there's things that people can do, right, to improve upon themselves. Just like you were able to do. Okay? So, releasing that energy that's tied you up and giving you the space to blossom, I think is what a lot of you are going to need here. Excuse me. I'm glad I grabbed my juice. Birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. So these are like your little blessings coming in, right? There's people that are like, no, you can't have those blessings. You need to stay in here. And you're like, but I'm already here, right? It's like, it's too late for them to, it's like in the wedding ceremony, right? Who in this church is going to say something? And nobody spoke up. And guess what? Now it's blessing time. And now it's like, they're like, now they want to speak. And it's like, the tribe has spoken. Okay. It's all, the paperwork has been signed. These blessings are coming down. All right. No matter who don't like it. Sorry about whoever promised you how many ever 80 virgins or whatever. They fucking lied to you. So guess what? Those blessings get to fall down into real folks that actually need them. Right? That's how that works. Yeah. It's funny how that works, isn't it? It's like even things with the wrong intention, Spirit knows how to flip that and put it exactly where it's needed. That's right. So those return to sender energies, that's kind of how that happens. That's what happens. And then these folks that always got these scams always wonder why they're hitting their head against the wall. It's like, well, maybe you just didn't do it right this time. Maybe now you got 80 lifetimes to figure it out, right? Working your way back up. So, spiritually speaking, of course. All right, let's do one more light work card, and then I'm going to get into the tarot. Hang on, let's get these cards. Align your life. What is not aligned or needs to change? Yeah, one of my last readings, I was talking about when words and actions do not align, right? Then yeah, something's got to go. Then that's like, okay, honey, it's definitely unrequited, right? I'm not attracted to the broken mirror syndrome. No, I am not. No. Okay. I'm going to use a different tarot deck just because. Let's see, what does the collective need to know about the rest of this situation going on? I really feel like this open mind is going to be the ticket to you actually to kind of like, I don't want to say manipulate, but to like catch this ball of energy and to boost it into the best version of yourself. Yeah, Queen of Cups here. Yeah, it's a very emotionally satisfying type of feeling that's coming through here. So let us see. The Judgment card. First up. Wow. That is pretty intense. So, yeah. Yeah, you taking back control here with your boundaries in place, it's like got no chains on me type feeling. You're very kind of like hallelujah, risen from the grave type, you know. Um yeah. And I don't know if it was the reading yesterday or that was earlier today when I was like, yeah, the person that thinks you're just going to go like this in open arms when they've been treating you crappily, right? But here it's like spirits greeting you with the open arms. You're so happy to see that somebody else understands what you've been going through. That's why the judgment is here. It's like, no, you're not in denial. You're not tossed upside down like this really happened. Okay. There's other people out there that ignored situations, right? But you didn't because you couldn't because it was happening to you, right? This is what people don't understand about the collective. They'll be like, oh, just move on, just ignore it, just da da da. Okay, that always bubbles up, always, but it's so easy for somebody else to judge. But now it is the collective's turn to receive the judgment, to receive the proper judgment regarding their situation. And this is in the root chakra position, so that's pretty mighty. This is going to be the kind of thing where you might actually be able to point to some physical evidence if somebody's like, hey, why don't you get off your high horse? It's like, no, because when I was around you, this is what you wanted for me. Remember that? Remember this cage you wanted me in? I don't fit in that cage, honey. You know, blame it on the booty injections. I don't care what you blame it on. I ain't going back in that cage, right? And meanwhile, they're back here standing by it, like petting the cage, like it's some big monument to something. And it's like, what are you doing there? You know, it's like they're taking selfies outside the cage, like, look at us outside the cage. Like, no, you look dumb. Okay. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Yeah, like, yeah, now, like, you can laugh about it now. They're not going to be laughing, but you're laughing. And part of why you're laughing is because they couldn't stop you. You know, call it spiritual attack, spiritual warfare, just being plain mean and nasty. Whatever you want to call it. Right? But when they're coming to deal with you, collective, it's like every single time they look at you, they're looking up at the tower like, oh shoot, this is what we're dealing with now. Yeah, this is what we're dealing with now. Right? And some of these folks that are having to deal with this, it's like, man, it could have been so easy. It could have been so easy, like almost blissfully ignorant easy. But they chose a different path. So 80 times over how many virgins over that's coming back. Okay. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be like you know, like that kind of tower. Okay. It's not just gonna be a single tower, it's gonna be you know, like that. And you're the all-seeing eye. Okay. This is your guard here. You don't even have to be present to win anymore, collective. The billionaire's doing the work for you in the spiritual realm. God's the billionaire in the spiritual realm. There is no higher authority in the spiritual realm. Money is not a god, it is a tool used on the earthly realm, correct? There's an old movie, it's called You Can't Take It With You. What else does this collective need to know? Hmm. 10 of Wands. I'm getting this two ways. I'm getting the we're all filled up on crazy over here, and I'm getting somebody is kind of burdened by their feelings of attraction towards you, and they're not really sure what to do with it. That is feeling like it's become their cross to bear. That could be why they're spying on you. I'm also getting collective for some of you. Like if they don't approach you right, this kind of true love, like if they approach with too much of this passion energy, you're just going to be like, you know, you're just like every other, you know, whoever that waltzes in here and thinks they can, you know what I mean? Like, you know, there might be a prenup somewhere, but there is technically no price tag on love. Okay? Because the only thing that makes those contracts work is the other things outside of the contract. Okay. Pisces, Hangman. Definitely don't rush into that either if it is a situation where somebody wants you to sign something, right? You know, and the thing is, if it is actually fair, then they should have no problem with you looking it over by an independent legal counsel. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's another thing to just never being pressured into anything means that there's something karmic-y going on. There's something karmic-y afoot. Okay. Yeah, 6 of Wands. You're definitely more in the celebrating what you've achieved mode versus worrying about what other people want out of the situation. So they may be more, you know, approaching you in this manner. Somebody could be a little snowed, especially if you kind of reject like the notion of signing things that you don't necessarily believe in. Some people be like, I don't believe in a prenup, I'm not signing that, blah blah blah. You know, so you could have like a little bit of a wild independent spirit where you know, you reject some of, you know, the of modern society's structures, okay? But that doesn't mean it's not good for you to consider. Okay, I want to say that in this message here, because the keep an open mind came out. All right, but yeah, you know how that 6 of Wands, it's like, yeah, I'm charging into town on my high horse, ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing about nothing, and blah blah blah. Well, you know what? As soon as you start thinking you're the smartest person in the room, guess who's going to come up right behind you and snake you every single time? Boop. Right? I already got you. Okay? I used to work with a guy that he told me that once, like, I guess in confidence. He's like, isn't it weird when you're like the smartest person in the room? And I just kind of looked at him and I thought, oh boy, you think a lot of yourself, don't you? I thought, I bet his wife really gets a kick out of him. They're divorced now. He's since remarried, but you know how that goes. So, anyway. Maybe he smartened up with the second wife, decided to treat her better than the first one. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's not my relationship, so whatever. He never asked for a reading. Uh, King of Swords, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Not the most talkative king for being in charge of communication. However, um, for some of you, this could be a conversation about this unrequited love here. Saying, yeah, maybe it's just not emotionally fulfilling, right? Yeah. The thing is, usually a king of swords is very sincere, right? You don't have to usually worry about a king of swords lying to you, whereas a knight of wands is liable to say anything. Okay, so this conversation with this king of swords may be brief but effective. All right, is what I want to say. Okay, it's the energy I'm getting. Kind of giving me that sad vibe also. So it could be suffering from some loneliness, I'm getting. The Four of Pentacles. Yeah. One reason you might not have time for this person is because you're focused on your pentacles, and especially if you're concerned about your stability and saving, right? That's kind of what the Four of Pentacles is about. It's, um, about being happy with what you have, not being so miserly that you don't, buy a present or, have some fun money every now and then, right? Um, yeah, it's more of the opening up to possibilities here is the energy I'm getting off of this Four of Pentacles, okay? So that could be why this King of Swords has not really been able to kind of make inroads, all right? Five of Wands. So you may definitely have some competition, especially if you are flirting, okay? Yeah. And if somebody finds out that you are flirting, they might feel a little left out about it. You know what I mean? Like, why aren't they flirting with me, mama? And you just be like, look, unrequited love, okay? It's just unrequited. Nothing personal. I mean, there's dudes out there that won't date a woman with brown hair. Okay? They just won't. They only date blondes or redheads or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? So, don't let other people try and convince you that you have to do a certain thing. All right? Because, yes, you are able to kind of say, well, yeah, I'm kind of attracted to this, or that. But here as well, don't make it so specific, right? A lot of people are be like, oh yeah, I have a checklist and blah blah blah. I remember hearing some dude's checklist saying that he wanted his wife to have a nice singing voice. Well, not everybody has the best singing voice. Like, like opera singing voice, or like is like car radio okay? Do you know what I mean? Like it needs to be attainable, right? And you're going to be a lot happier. Okay? That doesn't mean don't set goals, just means make sure some of those goals are attainable, okay? And remember that some of the people around you that have different levels of resources are going to be able to attain things maybe that you know you will need a lot more time and resources to do. Okay? So, if you want a garage full of Lamborghinis, right? There's a couple different ways to do it. And, sitting here complaining about tarot, not telling you won the scratch off is not the way to do it. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do? All right? Most of us have to go out there and earn it one way or another. You know what I'm saying? Like, 7 of Pentacles. Yeah. Making those dollars turn in your favor. And again, part of this judgment is that you've been able to do it. It's like every time you end up over the hump. Right? And then somebody wants to come towards you and act like you don't know nothing. And you're like, do you even know who you're speaking to? And you might have to talk to them like this because maybe they're just not too quick. They're supposed to be, but they ain't. Are they? Sometimes it is okay to speak these things. Understand? You know what I'm saying? Like a little clap back every now and then. I'm not saying go overboard with it, but a few chosen words or phrases. Maybe they won't get it, but maybe the person next to them will. Just saying. When the judgment is on your side here, and don't think I'm saying you have to go around and defend yourself to a whole bunch of people. Like, you have to. That's not what I'm saying. This is just, as you find yourself in these situations, okay? Seven of Wands. Yes, you may appear a little defensive, right? And yeah, maybe for a good reason. That doesn't mean you don't have possibilities, right? Queen of Swords. Another Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, and we have the King of Swords here as well. So you could be dealing with a Queen of Swords. Possibly somebody has their own career as well, their own business, right? But not a unfeeling person, I'm getting. I'm getting that this person is very fair, okay? Virgo, the Hermit, and the 6 of Wands. So, yeah. So this, again, is keep an open mind. Like, okay, you get the Hermit here over the 6 of Wands. The 6 of Wands is like the Leo coming into town, like, here I am. Bam, Whereas the Virgo Hermit's like, okay, I'm going to come into town. I'm going to sneak in and take this back alley and hopefully nobody even sees me. Again, just two kind of opposite energies, but, the possibility of them entertaining each other, it's like, has that been explored yet? Okay. That Judgment card wanted to flip over again. Knight of Swords. Yeah, it could be one of those things too where when this conversation happens, it's like it's over as almost as soon as it starts. It's just like a burst of da da da, and then, you know, like I said, short, brief, concise, completed the mission. You know, especially if this person is an air sign here, okay? Six of Swords. Yeah, I really feel like for some of you, you're not necessarily accepting this person's offer. Like you're forging ahead. You've made some decisions, and it's kind of like you feel secure in that, right? And some of it could be because you're like, I don't want to be charging over here doing this. And I don't want to be, you know, yeah, I might be with the Six of Wands right now, but, you know, everybody needs that downtime, that Virgo. We don't need to be rushing around here, there, and everywhere like a little bolt of lightning, right? It's weird how this Six of Wands is almost giving me some of this Virgo energy too, because it's just kind of like turning and moving. You know what I mean? Yeah, 10 of Swords. There's definitely some kind of unrequited thing here where you're going to have to put an end to that and open yourself up, right? To new possibilities here with this flirtation card, okay? Yeah, and getting back to celebrating what you want. You know, coming out of that darkness and into a space of being cherished, you know, not just tolerated, right? Like, yeah, who wants to be tolerated in their relationship, you know? Yeah. So again, definitely keep an open mind. And you know, if this is a past life relationship, and if this is something where like maybe you haven't seen each other in a long time, you know, this could be one of those things where, you know, you knew somebody in high school or your 20s or something, you both, you know, you got married, they got married, they had kids, you had kids, you know, whatever. And now everything's been mixed up and life happened, and now it's like this, right? And then it's like you could bump into each other and it's like, oh, you know, this person might not know if you're single or not. That's why they're spying currently. They could have similar situations as you. That's why maybe they want to get together like on a vacation type thing instead of, you know, just regular life. I think there's definitely some competition for your energy. So whoever's getting this unrequited, they're gonna have to move on, right? Because they're not aligning with what you're after. Okay. Some of that could be the boundaries that you have established. Okay. And especially if it is somebody from a past kind of love, past life type relationship here, make sure that they're actually following those boundaries that you have currently, right? You know, your boundaries when you're 30 is not the same as your boundaries when you're 19 years old. And, you know, and if you never grow and change from that, I mean, maybe that's the time to start doing some introspection, right? So, all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this message. Please like or subscribe. Again, my apologies about the video earlier today. When I watched the replay of part 1, it only came across as like a few minutes versus the 20-some minutes that I had already channeled. So my apologies to anybody that got lost in the sauce on that read earlier today. But hopefully this gives you a little bit of clarification for the current energies on that reading as well. Earlier today, if you go back and you look at part 2, you can see where I end with the Knight of Wands is in the mix on that too. So it's kind of similar to some of this energy where, you know, just because it is an energy doesn't mean you need to, I would say it doesn't mean you need to acknowledge it. It just doesn't mean you need to entertain it, right? You don't need to, and if you are not in the mood to entertain it, like you're not gonna feel bad about it, right? It's kind of like that, you know. It's like, yeah, I could take a croissant right now, but maybe I don't need it. You know what I mean? Something like that. It's just very kind of blasé. So for many of you collective, that depth of emotion, that feeling already left a long time ago, depending on who that person is. Okay. So the fact that you're even kind of like out here and flirting may have whoever that is a little perturbed, perhaps. Yeah. But it's going to be a joyful season, I feel like, for a lot of you, especially through the next full moon. Let's see, that is coming up on the 15th of this month. So not this weekend, but the following weekend. So maybe you can consider that energy good for this read, okay? For time wise, if you guys are needing a time frame, okay? So anywho, thanks for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing. If you are a new subscriber, it helps boost these messages and gets us what we need to know, right? So until then, please do manifest wisely. Bye-bye.